Hey, it's been a while. Look at it right there. Try and get it. Yes, sir. Now, I've never found a white arrowhead until last year. I found my first one. Now, this is the first one I found since COVID. And anyway, just to let everybody know, we quit filming and everything. I came down with COVID real bad. For those that don't know, I almost didn't make it. I ran 104.7, I believe it was, temperature for something like 13 straight days. And I was really, really bad and just about didn't make it. That was in July. And anyway, it's been a long road to recover, you know, getting yourself back in shape, you know, where you can breathe good. And anyway, but we finally made it back. But in the meantime, I had started my own business and everything. I sell on eBay and now, and anyway, and that's taken a lot of my time, so I haven't been able to come out and do any videoing or anything like that. But anyway, well, I just took a break from it today. Decided I'd come out and just see what I can find, and well, come out of here with an arrowhead. Got one. But anyway, well, that's what's going on with me. Like I said, it's been a while. This is the first one of 2022. And anyway, thank you for hanging with me, and we'll try to see if we can get another one. Let me see if I can find this thing again. Now, don't ask me how in the devil I saw this. But that looks like a point. I believe it is. Oh, heck yeah. Jesus. Heck yeah. Yeah, that makes two for the day. Hey, we're gonna keep on at it and see what else we can come up with. Y'all wanna come looking for arrowheads in Arkansas? It is like looking for a particular needle in a stack of needles. Like you put 1,000,000 needles down on the floor. You name one George, and you go find George. Man, it's some good hunting, but Lord have mercy. You better keep your eyes peeled when you're out here. Hey, we're gonna keep at it, see what else we can find. Well, I'm gonna cut this video a little short, and I got some things I need to do, get back to the house and all that, and some things I really need to do with eBay and all. But anyway, I just wanted to touch base with you again about the whole COVID thing. I came down with COVID, you know, I think it was July the 19th, I think it was. And anyway, I got exposed to it, and it kind of caught me off guard because I've always been extremely careful. Even during the height of the pandemic and everything, I managed to stay healthy. Even with my job being out in public and all, and my wife, she's always managed to stay healthy through it all. But we let our guard down, or at least I did, and got exposed from somebody that you just least expected. You know, it wasn't their fault or nothing. I'm not upset with them at all, but we just didn't expect that at all, and we let our guard down. And well, we find out later that they had said that they hadn't felt good for like 4 or 5 days or something like that. And so anyway, well, that kind of floored me. You know, I had a little mixed emotions about it. I was pissed on one hand, you know, that you would be sick, you know, considering what was going on, and then you would come around me and expose me and my family, and but at the same time, you know, we wasn't upset. You know, we was just upset at the situation. And I don't want this person to think that I'm mad at him. I'm not mad at him. I never was. And but anyway, well, that was on Saturday that we found out. And well, I went to work Sunday. I'm off on on Fridays and Saturdays. I went to work Sunday. Everything was fine. Went to work Monday. Monday came and gone, and everything was fine. Tuesday come around, however, and the day started out fine. But long about 10 o'clock in the morning, I just wasn't feeling right. You could tell something was off, and I was afraid I knew what it was. And I called up a buddy of mine, Patrick, at work there, because he had COVID before, you know, a few months, 3 or 4 months or so before this. And I was asking him what his symptoms was, and he went to rattling off, you know, that he didn't have any smell, he didn't have any taste, and all that, and his back hurt. And I was like, well, no, that's not describing anything I've got, so maybe it's not COVID, maybe it's something else. But as the day went on, I just got worse and worse and worse. And it just got to the point to where finally at 2 o'clock, I just called it a day. I came home early, and I was so weak at that point that I couldn't stand on my own. And anyway, and this rocked on for days and days that I was just bad. I'd get bad, then I'd get feeling a little bit better. Then within just a couple hours or so, well, I'd be right back bad again. And anyway, I didn't get the vaccine because of, you know, I just didn't trust it. I thought that they moved too fast with the vaccines. And every time you turned around that there was a recall on them, you know, with Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, you know, they was having this and that problem. And I just wasn't comfortable with it, you know, putting that in my system. And plus they wanted, you know, they were talking about wanting to microchip people, you know, and I don't know how much of that was just a bunch of talk and how much of it was for real. But I didn't trust anybody at that point, you know, and I didn't want to be microchipped, and I didn't trust the vaccine, so I didn't get it. But after a few days of going back and forth, well, several days actually, but after several days of it, I just couldn't shake it, and we decided, well, we'd go up there and get the infusion shot. So I go up there and get the infusion shot, and anyway, the doctor told me, he said that most people get better within 24 hours of receiving the shot. And this was like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I went and had this done. And they made you wait in the waiting room. I think it was 30 or 45 minutes, you know, to check, make sure you wouldn't have any allergic reactions or anything. And so anyway, well, we rocked on there, and everything seemed to be going fine. And we left the hospital. Like I said, this was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I live 2 blocks from the hospital. And folks, I can tell you, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I do not remember getting home. I do not know how how I got in the house or how I got in the bed or anything else. I have no memory recollection of it whatsoever. All I know is I woke up, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and anyway, my fever was just through the roof, like 104.7 or 104.8 something. It was just ridiculous amount. And we found out later that they said that this other doctor, which later on down the road, we saw this doctor, this new doctor, and he told us that if they had had a bed available, I would have been in ICU, but they didn't have any beds available, so they sent me home. But anyway, my wife, she packed me in ice and everything, and just trying to keep my temperature down. And speaking of which, I've never seen such a selfless act in all my life. You know, people say, you know, that yeah, they would lay down their life for their loved ones and their family, and to a large extent that may be true. But when it gets right down to it, would you really, you know, put yourself at risk to do that? And that's exactly what she did. She knew the dangers and she knew the risk. And with her health issues, you know, it's very, very likely that had she come down with the strain of COVID that I had, most likely she wouldn't survive. But that didn't deter her none at all. She stayed right by my side the whole time, packing me with ice and all this to keep my temperature down. And it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, I guess, and I woke up, and just they had me covered in ice, you know, just from head to toe, bare skin. And the only thing I had on was, I think, my underwear, and that was about it. And everything, I was completely covered in ice. And I woke up like 2 o'clock in the morning, and just for a minute, and my mom was there, and you could tell that her and my wife both had been crying, and just, you see their face and you could just see it all over them. And I remember my mama saying, you know, that she wasn't ready to say goodbye, and that I had to fight. And at some point I went back out again. And well, anyway, well, this rocked on there for quite a while, and finally she took me back to the hospital again for, like, this was the third or fourth time I've been to the hospital. And we got the new doctor that I was telling you about earlier. And for the first time, I had a doctor actually treat me for it. He gave me a shot. I can't remember now what it was. It's been too long ago, but I don't want to tell you wrong. But he gave me a shot of something, and gave me some pills and some, I believe it's some albuterol. But anyway, and some steroids. And it was a slow go, but over time, eventually I got over it. I ended up making a full recovery to where I'm at now, and thankfully my wife never came down with that strand. We're both alive and doing good, and you know, I'm just so blessed, you know, to have a family like I have, and a wife, you know, that's just went above and beyond. I mean, I know I'm her husband, but she didn't have to put herself out the way she did, and I'm eternally grateful for her. And because if it hadn't been for her actions, and there's no doubt I would not have survived, because she did what she had to do to keep my temperature down as low as she could get it, and which was still stupid high. But if it hadn't been for the ice, you know, how high would it have gone? You know, it very possibly could have caused brain damage or death, or which, if it had caused brain damage, I guess some people would say, you know, they wouldn't notice any change. but anyway, but yeah, that's where we're at. We're doing good. I haven't done any filming and everything, because when I got better, we were in the middle of a drought, and everything was just so dry. You couldn't go and buy a rain anywhere. So I didn't do any arrowhead hunting, because everything you could bet every spot that held arrowheads had been walked over 1,000,000 times because just about all the creeks and everything was all dried up. So I had to wait for the spring, which the spring rains came, and finally here I am. I came out today to do a little arrowhead hunt. But we do, I'm going to try to get some more videos out a little more regular. I don't know how regular they will be. I can't tell you that they will be every week because, as I said before, we selling on eBay now. I sell a lot of vintage stuff, vintage radios, vintage toys. Matter of fact, there's a Kissifer I just sold. I don't know how old you may be, but in 1985, they had a Kissifer plush bear. He had a little old yellow sweatshirt on, said Kissifer on it. But anyway, we just sold it. I sold some He-Man stuff, some original He-Man from the 79, I believe it was. We sold some nursery rhyme tea sets made out of tin from the 1940s. I mean, we deal with a lot of vintage, and we deal with vintage clothes, and we deal with even new stuff. And I got some stereo equipment now. I got 2 stereos, Pioneer stereos, that have the record players on them, and I'm going to have those serviced and everything and have them checked out, make sure they work. I'm going to carry them to my electronics guy and have him give them a good once over and check them out, make sure everything's working the way it should. And once we get that done, we're going to list those. But anyway, that's coming up. We got some more stereo equipment that is not as vintage as that we're going to list hopefully today, as soon as I get in, which is one of the things I got to get home and do. My wife, she's planning on cooking pasta for supper to boot, so she has to go to the grocery store and get some things. So I really need to get going, but I did want to touch base with you and let y'all know what was going on. And I am alive and well, and you know, which is more than I could say for a lot of folks. Even some people in my own family didn't make it, and it's just a sad situation. It's just something you don't expect, something this serious to go on in this day and time, and nobody knew anything what to do about it, but and like I said, so many of us have lost loved ones and everything, and our hearts and prayers go out to each and every one of y'all, and to my family, that prayed and called to check on me and all that. Man, I love all y'all. Thank you so much, for the prayers and the support. And but anyway, we're going to wrap this one up, and I wanted to say thank you for sticking by my side and everything, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Well, I'm on my way home now, but it dawned on me, I don't think I ever mentioned it. If anybody out there is interested in buying any vintage stuff, or anything, just get on eBay and look up Cove Creek Trading. That would be me. That's COVE Creek, CREEK, and then Trading. But you can get on there and go to my store. And like I said, I have a little bit of everything, anything and everything. I've got new stuff. I've got vintage stuff. I mean, clothes. I mean, you name it. It's just about like a small Walmart, really. But anyway, I just want to throw that out there. If anybody's interested in all that good stuff, y'all can come check me out and all that. But anyway, well, I guess we're going to jump over here and we'll catch y'all on the next one.